To my knowledge, what I am explaining has no scientific evidence. I am solely attempting to articulate the experience using a primitive vocabulary. Mankind is relatively young in the span of time. 12:41 a.m. It's coming on, gently, but hinting its powerful potency. I text two of my closest friends to notify them of the journey in which I am about to embark. 1:05 a.m. I'm there now, I texted, or so I believed. A false sense of security. I'm merely beginning to learn about what is within. Thank you for being part of this experience, I text, feeling a sense of safety, knowing they are aware. 3:05 a.m. Tuesday. I feel myself going inside myself. I thought I was level and in control just minutes ago. I couldn't have been more wrong. Anxious. At what point I would stop going further, away, deeper, within, higher, consciousness? It is difficult to select which of those variations appropriately describes this feeling. A sensation, a fear of the unknown. This is why I'm afraid. It is disassembling me, destroying my ego. Allowing the medicine to analyze which parts of my being to assist in healing. What I consumed was no mere drug, but a medicine. It is assisting me in assisting myself with healing on multiple levels, muscular and skeletal, subconscious and conscious, physically and metaphysically. I am afraid. I do not yet understand where the fear stems. Perhaps it is in learning what will be revealed to me. Will I realize the inevitable? Be faced with paths to multiple potential outcomes? Will I come face to face with the reflection of my true self? My mirror image reflecting that I simply must take responsibility and be accountable to realizing my dream? Self-examination leading to self-realization, or simply more confusion and doubt? I activate the television. 2018 NBA playoff highlights. Something to give me an illusion of comfort. Perhaps something I could be in control of. A distraction from the reality of something I did not know if I could endure. Truth. Realizing, as my senses heightened, this was background noise. A noise that acted as a distraction. This worked only to temporarily suppress my fears of the inevitable. I recognized nothing could prevent what would occur. I'm apprehensive again. No control over this feeling. I decide to rely on what I thought would be a safe space. The Ícaros Shamanicos. Medicinal songs that induce a profound state of healing and astonishment. As the Ícaros played, I remained afraid. The power of its incantations combined with the medicine in my gut was too much for me to handle. It was as if the Ícaros caused the medicine within me to ignite. Already within my bloodstream, bonded to the very receptors in my brain, reopening atrophied neurological pathways, allowing the music to work in synergy with the medicine. Harmony. I had no choice but to let go. Close my eyes, witness three-dimensional light. In attempts to think logically, is this caused by the light of the television and what light is passing through my eyelids? As scary as it was amazing, I could feel myself slipping further into myself. When I say into myself, I mean my being, mind, spirit, consciousness, skeletal structure, musculature, organs, Even the very fluid that my body is made of was being manipulated by breath. The very breath I was taking, I noticed that was unconsciously synchronized with the Icaros. I could hear the Icaros on multiple frequencies as the medicine traveled layer by layer of me. Me as a whole, not just my stomach. Consciously aware that the Icaros could be heard on different levels. That is, when I became aware of the music, I noticed that it seemed as if the treble was all the way down and only the bass from the subwoofer could be heard. Listening to those lower frequencies must have drawn the medicine deep within me, as if the chakra that was active at that time had begun to vibrate with the energy that portion of the music would invoke, subsequently causing a profound impact on my digestive elimination. I sat up. My logical mind questions, is this mere placebo? No. I could hear the music was, in fact, clear as day. 3 speakers in front of me, 1 subwoofer bottom right, 2 speakers above and behind me mounted into the ceiling. I was surrounded by the rhythms that are the Icaros. I looked in the direction of my television screen. This were to assure me time itself was still near. The image on the screen, a dense forest. Though just a 1080p flat screen, it appeared to have great depth of field as if 4K. I could see into the distance. What I perceived is utterly difficult to articulate, yet spoken to me on such a fundamental level. A level lost to our ability to interpret as our lives are drawn further away from nature. The spirit of the medicine revealed to me a fragment of its connection to the wisdom that is the earth, of which we are organisms. Similar to plant life or coral reef, I could feel the delicate balance that could be lost by a simple movement, causing a ripple in the entire ecosystem. No different from a spider's web, where the entire network is connected. Every conscious effort causing a ripple in the most still body of water. I had to realize that, as opposed to attempting to express, I had to focus on being still. The simplest example was showcased to me. The more I attempted to control my breathing, the more the medicine reminded me I needed simply bear witness to the magnificence my body was manifesting autonomously. Though fundamentally simple in nature, theoretically complex to verbalize, as if telepathically I hear, just be. My lips move as if I was actually speaking it, but the sound was projected into and coming from my mind. Simply tampering with what was occurring was preventing a stillness more fragile than attempting to grasp a butterfly by its wings without damaging them. Why is it so difficult to be empty? Through my emptiness, the music would invigorate my cells, further energizing the medicine to flow freely through me. It was in this way the plant could communicate its message. Epiphanies that would resonate through my very being and remain with me until this day. Astonished, I lay on the couch, expressing hand movements I learned in my years as a Kung Fu practitioner, combined with breathing obtained in my time as a Qigong practitioner. I realized the more I tried to do movement, the plant was trying to teach me to simply exist. By letting go, I would allow the healing power of the plant to express itself through me. I could see that it was my own ego working to prevent the energy and information flowing through my body and mind, meridians and chakras. It was at this point I realized I was merely along for the ride. The essence of the medicine, the spirit of the plant and its very origin, the vast wisdom that is the earth, would then communicate to me all that is me. My lack of vitality, my ability to procreate, manifestation of energy into the cosmos, and unlimited potential, as if drawing directly from the ether. On the other side of the spectrum, the many limitations caused by one's ability to sabotage one's self psychologically. These realizations, though potentially painful, are indeed blessings. Acknowledgement of these various doubts, character flaws, or what is preventing you from growing is the first stage of overcoming the obstacle. If you feed into the doubts, they become stronger. Thoughts in harmony with your dream must be fed, while allowing the negative ideas to wither, their neural pathways to atrophy. Not denying what is drawing you away from that dream, but stopping to be thankful for the realization it is occurring and having a choice. The choice to do what is propelling the meaning of your existence. It is in this way we can experience significant growth as human beings. It wasn't this dark entity causing my vitality to diminish like a parasite would. The entity was further fusing to me the more I dumped toxins from poor food and beverage choices into my system, as I myself contributed to poisoning myself. It would gain strength, causing me to become weaker, advancing as darkness consumes light at dusk. Deep in meditation, I realized the unconscious breathing taking place was massaging my internal organs. As I listened to the Icaros, the frequency and vibration was actually exercising me. I felt as if I wanted to purge. I could hear the fluid inside my stomach swishing around as I breathed through my belly, seemingly rinsing the toxins from my digestive tract. Light burps emanated, followed by the passing of gases. Finally, after having been seated for some time, I felt it was safe for me to stand. As I moved about the man cave, I seemed to have been doing Tai Chi Chuan. The unusual aspect was that I had never been taught to do some of the movements I was doing. My body was just doing it. It was a beautiful dance to complement the Icaros. Opposite to bomba dancing, where the dancers' movements lead the drummers to react. The chants and sounds of the Icaros I saw was causing me to react. In allowing myself to submit and go along for the ride, I realized my body was causing my respiration to occur through movement, not conscious breathing. This is something no Sifu had ever taught me, nor could I have ever fathomed in my years of meditation. The movements were infinite, yet paradoxically becoming shorter, as they seemed to charge my respiration, like a turbine, building energy for an eruption of negative energy through my respiratory system. If 20 repetitions of this breathing pattern I am describing became a set, I felt as if I had endured hundreds of sets. This movement caused airflow through my lungs without physically using my lungs to contract and expand. Considering myself a healthy male, I only get sick once or twice per year, but had been dealing with some respiratory issues for several weeks up until this point. This turbine-style breath exercise caused phlegm to discharge from areas no cough medicine could previously. This took movement, breath, and a significant amount of visualization of my internal organs, moving my chi, air, through these areas in a very fragile dance of coordination and intention, without preventing the autonomous process by trying to do it myself, constricting my healing energy as opposed to allowing my body to flow and consciously be empty, void of tension. Contractions only occurring where the body is focusing on maneuvering the energy through these channels. To my knowledge, What I am explaining has no scientific evidence. I am solely attempting to articulate the experience using a primitive vocabulary. Mankind is relatively young in the span of time. The medicine was teaching me to heal myself. It helped me to suffocate a dark entity that would later come out as a small, undigested stool seemingly attached to my intestinal wall. Presumably attached and progressing for some time. It took a great deal of focus and control to excrete. The medicine's effect was dissipating at this point, so I thought. I had already been sweating and exhausted from the power of the moving meditation that was occurring. I was able to purge deep-rooted phlegm from my lungs on 2 separate occasions during this experience as well. These were signs, teachers, if you will. The lingering phlegm? A warning sign of diminishing health from not consuming the nutrient-rich foods my body required on a daily basis, preventing my body, which I was always able to take for granted, from possessing the vitality to heal itself. With my body in this state, it's no wonder why one would easily be exposed to sickness, fungal infections, parasites, lack of energy, vitality, and healing properties, or even the ability to procreate. The irony is, this lack of energy would only lead me to consume more toxins in the form of stimulants such as caffeine, creating a false sense of energy, or my vice, sugar. Continuing on this path would only cause my vitality to further diminish, allowing darkness to further overcome and consume what light was left. The dark entity, a representation of my lust and desire. A manifestation of something that would cause my very life to extinguish without my soul ever understanding why it was put into existence on this earth. Dare I say, a symptom of such things as cancer, diabetes, heart disease, or stroke. Actual physical manifestations from psychological stress or restrictions between energy channels within the body. The plant was communicating that to me, clearly, showing me where I am sick, teaching me why, warning me it was my own doing. It was at that point I saw the plant as a medicine. I must do my part in maintaining my body, but the plant showed me that if I did not act upon it soon, it might be too late to turn back. It is not my intention to seem dire. I am openly attempting to conceptualize what I felt. We miscarried a child a few months ago. Last month, we calculated ovulation, and I still could not impregnate my wife. Although I appear fit, perhaps I am unhealthy and do not possess the vitality to pass on the energy needed to procreate. The organic nature of the plant communicated to me the means to help increase my vigor in revealing the aforementioned. That means was to consume the proper and natural nutrients necessary to increase the vitality in that specific area. In the lower stages of this experience, I was coming closer to a sober state. I continued with movement. I actually thought it had taken its course, but it is still within me now. An afterglow, the elegant dance of Tai Chi within the Icaros. I was hearing background chants I'd never heard in these songs previously. My body was reacting to the sounds almost violently. At this point, I detected my exorcism was incomplete. My body moved me directly beneath my ceiling speaker, seemingly attached to the shamanic music of the Icaros, reacting to the most subtle sounds as if they were the most profound. My body acting as if it was synchronized with a chance that would be impossible for me to predict. This was communicated to me in a way where my body was part of the choreography that are the chants, but how could I be so in sync? I do not have these songs memorized. The emptiness I was experiencing borrowed itself to reacting as the waves of sound energy reached my body, not after, not in anticipation prior to the sound, but as. I wasn't moving, my body was moving. My body was not in control, The Ícaros were in control. Harmoniously, the sound and my body were one. There I undulate against the wall, my body contorting in ways I was never taught to move in any of the martial arts I've studied. These movements would cause pressure on my organs as breath moved through specific parts of my body. Moving air into specific targets in my body would not have been possible without the intricacies of these unusual positions. Muscles stretched, joints popped and cracked as my body pronate and supinate, expand and contract. It appears as if my body was opening itself to the healing energy through all of my extremities as well as my internal organs. With my body moving on its own, I realize there are no alien spaceships. The alien spaceship is my body, my mind, the cockpit. I was merely along for the ride. We are a universe within a universe without a universe. At that moment, I became cognizant to what was occurring. I thought to myself, if someone walked in on me right now, they'd be frightened. They'd think I was possessed. This was a part of the process that needed to occur to clear the darkness that had latched on to my being. I wish I could tell you the darkness had been expelled, but it remains as a form of awareness, lying dormant like a virus, waiting to emerge, anticipating you going against your dream. Taking a moment to breathe when going against that dream and thanking your consciousness for making you aware is the very means of creating new pathways within the mind that allow you to progress past these obstacles. It was then, as I was in moving meditation, I looked into the darkness that was my hallway. I realized something truly profound. I could be afraid of what I would witness in the darkness, or I could embrace its unlimited potential. I cannot take credit for these thoughts alone. I remained in moving meditation and began to manifest the energy of potential into the rooms, as if I could simply scoop the ether from the air. I realized that we are the magicians. We cause the magic of manifestation through the power of our minds and intent. It was then I was blessed with the realization that if I care for myself, improve my health and vitality, that I had leveled up as a person and would be capable of creating life. A mature plant with the seed to create unlimited potential. Like a wizard, I would cast spells by combining my energy, vibration, into the ethereal. I cried, realizing spanking my son had to be done with the correct energy. I visualized holding him tightly in my arms and crying to him, telling him that he is the most precious of my possessions, unlimited potential. I now understand that if I discipline him out of anger, it may instill fear. Fear he may lock inside, perhaps creating resent. By disciplining him with the correct energy, one hopes to instill respect, guiding them to become beings of character, as opposed to an eternal child, blaming others for what he has become, holding on to internal pain, sorrow, regret, or being a victim of circumstance. The very reason the meditation I currently endure was meant to heal. As we go deeper, we realize the energy may also affect the mother. This vibration may still exude onto the child, whether negative or positive. Our intentions shaped his demeanor. Now I understand how parents see themselves within their child. Another moment where one realizes these are things you may or should already know. With your mind open in this way, each individual idea on the concept is connected. When the connection of these ideas culminates, one achieves a greater perspective. This perspective may spawn an epiphany. This was one of many epiphanies extracted from this deep meditative state. Integrating these subtle changes into your life can make an enormous impact on how you affect your many potential futures. I am astonished to have realized even that. I beheld myself a mere sapling, a living organism of the earth, as if Mother Earth herself was expressing the fact that I was from her, but she would just as quickly take me back into her. One portion of my very being feared that outcome. The other could not imagine anything more beautiful. I discovered I have to learn to recognize when my ego could be a detriment, not only during meditation, but to my evolution as a man and improvement in life. This would be one of the only ways I, like a sapling, could flourish and grow. A very delicate balance of being in the garden of life and being allowed the freedom to dance within its blissful beauty, or simply perish. I learned that though I am 40, it is only by virtue of time I grasp the meaning of being a man. I comprehend that as a father and husband, I am a mere 2-year-old, conceivably less. My son will be 2 years of age a week after this is written. I am growing as a father, a beginner at being a husband, learning as I go. It is in this way the depth of one's character may increase. Expanding as a man, being a father, and understanding how to be a husband. Combining these experiences creates a family. This family can become as one larger organism in a symbiotic relationship. I becomes us, we are one. As human beings, we experience a metamorphosis of which the previous is the catalyst. We are all consciously connected. That connected consciousness shapes our very reality.